Hey, this is Stu Schaefer, and I'm about to explain why you're not able to lose weight if you're doing a menopause diet and the fixes for you. And I'm going to go over exactly what I do with all of my clients that fix them and allow them to drop body weight super fast. So you're in the right place. This is going to be great. Well, first of all, what happens in menopause? What changes? There's a couple things you've got to know about because your body is different. As a woman, your body is different. In perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, it's very different. And a couple of changes happen that really change things, and you've got to do things different. The stuff you've done before, it ain't going to work anymore, as you've probably noticed. So what changes? Well, there's a couple of big ones. Number one, your ovaries turn off, and so they stop producing all of your hormones, and instead your adrenal glands have to produce the hormones. So that means your ability to tolerate stress goes way down. Well, stress can come from inflammation, like if you have a gut issue or an autoimmune or antibodies in your blood. Stress can come from lack of sleep. Stress can come from dehydration. Stress can come from not eating enough, not eating the right foods, doing fasting, keto, low carb. Stress can come from, emotional stress, over-exercising. There's a lot of ways that you can overstress your body, and you've got to be careful about that. So that's one of the differences. The other difference is most of the time, if you're done other diets in the past and you've restricted calories to lose weight, maybe exercised more, done things like Weight Watchers or low carb, time restricted eating, things like that, you'll slowly hurt your metabolism. And eventually you'll get to this tipping point where you'll develop something called repressed metabolic syndrome, RMS. That's a fancy Yale term. All that means is now what happens when you eat, your body stores it as fat really easily. But then when you exercise, it really has a hard time burning that fat, and it can sometimes burn muscle instead. And so oftentimes you'll end up looking soft and flabby, and when you eat, it'll seem like you gain fat really easy. You've got to reverse that. Well, you don't want to eat less and exercise more. That'll only make it worse. I'm going to go over the fixes in just a second and what to do different instead. And then the last reason that things are different is as you get older, you just have to do things different with your body. Obviously, your hormones are different now. Your joints are different. Bone density, connective tissue, tolerance to stress, how much you can get away with leeway. Maybe you have different types of responsibility. You're not as active anymore. And so between all of these things, that means you just have to be a little bit more precise with what you're doing. You don't just have all that leeway and flexibility like you did when you were younger. Well, it sucks, and I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. So let's talk about what to do instead, why your diet is failing you to begin with, and what changes you need to make in menopause. And like I said, I'll show you just picture after picture. You can see client after client after client. When I work with clients, these are the things that I do, and my typical client will lose 20 to 30 pounds of body fat in 12 weeks. There's hundreds of examples I could show you, but you get the idea. And so these are the things I do in the order I do them in. So get your notepad out, get ready to take some notes. This is gold. All right, the first fix you've got to make is you've got to cause the right chemical reactions in your body. Now, you're either going to cause your body to take the food you eat and use it correctly, where it's going to send it off to your muscles and your liver and your brain and your organs and your cells, and you're going to have all this energy, and you're going to burn fat and tone your muscles and feel amazing, and your hormones will be stable. Or you're going to cause the wrong chemical reactions where the body takes the food you eat and it stores a lot of it as fat. You don't produce the right hormones. You don't have the high energy. Maybe you have cravings. You're hungry. You're kind of lethargic. Maybe you have the brain fog, okay? And this is the problem. Most people don't cause the right chemical reactions in their body, and then they have to restrict calories. Then that slows their metabolism down and they get into all this trouble. The good news is you can create the right chemical reactions through eating and exercise. Now, I've done so many lessons on this. I'm going to splash up a lesson you can go check out all about how to do this. But you've got to eat the right food at the right time in the right combination. And this is what I mean. You're going to be either burning or storing fat, and you're either going to cause the right hormones to get released, which will help you burn fat, or you're going to cause the wrong hormones to get released, which will cause you to store fat. Let's talk about some of these. So if you don't eat correctly, that's going to crank up your cortisol. And you'll be back into this lockdown mode where the body just doesn't want to release fat. So cortisol is a hormone you have to be careful with. Cortisol is necessary to burn fat, but if it's too high, then it stops you from burning fat. It's crazy. And so when you start eating right, you can balance that cortisol. Another hormone is insulin. Okay, insulin, everyone says, oh, it's a terrible hormone. Oh, it makes you store fat. That's not exactly true. Insulin is a double-edged sword. If it's in range and you use it correctly, it'll actually help you build and tone your muscles, which will give you more energy, and it'll speed up your metabolism, which will help you burn fat. If you use it incorrectly, yes, it will cause you to store fat. And I did a whole lesson all about insulin. You want to check that out because you need to know how to use insulin correctly. Now, these are two hormones. There's different enzymes. You have hundreds, thousands of enzymes being released in your body as well. One enzyme called LPL will literally cause you to store fat very easily. Now, this will be released if you're not eating enough or if you're eating too much and you're causing your body to store fat. LPL, the enzyme, again, think of your body as everything needs to be in range or in a sweet spot. And if you're under eating or you're not getting enough or over-exercising, your body releases this LPL. If you're overeating, if you're really eating not correct, you're not combining the right foods, you're not eating the right foods at the right time, you're causing the wrong reactions in the body, the LPL will also get released. And what it does is it makes your fat cells really sensitive, and then it puts a little shield around them that locks in those fatty acids, prevents you from burning the fat. And so what happens now is if the LPL is too high and you eat the food, it goes right to your fat cells. And this is why you might be thinking, geez, if I eat, it just seems like I put on body fat so quickly, but it's not coming off when I exercise. This is one of the reasons. So you've got to create the right chemical reactions. And this is quite honestly the first thing I do with every client is I have to assess what they're eating. I look at their body, their lifestyle, what diets they've done in the past, if they have any food sensitivities, autoimmune, gut issues, etc. And then we go to work with piecing together the nutrition. Now, I'm going to tell you something that you need to know. I can't give anyone an automatic specific on, oh, this is what you need to lose weight. That's not how it works. Once I design things with clients, then they have to do it, and I have to see how your body responds. But based on how your body responds, then I understand and we can figure out, oh, what tweaks and adjustments do we need for your body so that we really get everything humming along. And now you start working with your body instead of against it. Now you'll understand exactly what to do to burn off that body fat. So that's number one. Let's look at the second fix, stress and sleep. These are two things that nobody actually understands the massive effects they have on you. If you're not getting enough sleep or you're too stressed, and I remember there's a lot of ways you can get stressed that I talked about, that will quite literally short circuit the fat burning process. You will not burn fat at all. So if you're missing sleep, you're waking up, you can't fall asleep, obviously you need to address the root cause, and it's not that hard to do. But you need to fix that because that will absolutely prevent you from burning fat. If you're stressed all the time, well, this could be how you're eating, exercising, emotional stress, all these different things that we're talking about. That will crank up your insulin. You'll store fat very easily. It'll be almost impossible to burn fat. And I've had clients who, even if you're doing, and they were doing perfectly, eating perfectly, exercising perfectly, but because they were so stressed and they chronically missed sleep, everything they were doing wasn't having the effect. As soon as we got these in line, we use a few different techniques. Sometimes there's some supplements you can use, and I might do a whole lesson on that. As soon as we got those in line, the weight started coming off. Wham! And that was such an eye-opener with how big of an effect sleep and stress can have on you. This is where part of the mindset comes in when you're doing any kind of transformation. You've got to have everything aligned, your body, your eating, and your mind, so that it all works together. We're all stressed. If you eat correctly, that can help tolerate the stress, but there's other ways you can eliminate it. There's extra stressors that you're doing to yourself that you don't realize. If you're not getting good sleep, this is going to destroy your results. So you have to address this, and this is a huge fix that can just change everything. All right, let's look at the third fix. You've got to eat, okay? You know, in 24 years that I've been working with women, I have never had a client, and I've worked with thousands and thousands of women. I've never had a client who I told to eat less. Never. Not once. I always tell my clients they need to eat more, and when my clients actually eat what they're supposed to eat, they can't believe it. They can't believe how much food they're actually eating, and it actually scares them. Then when they see that they're losing weight, they can't believe it. They tell me all the time, Stu, I can't believe I'm losing weight. I have never eaten so much food. I'll tell you right now, there's a 90% chance you're under eating, and that is actually stopping your weight loss. Let me give you some perspective, okay? The average woman in her mid-50s, whose average height, call it 5'5" or so, you probably need to lose weight somewhere around 1,800 calories a day. If you're eating, 1,200 or less, you're damaging your body. If you're eating 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 calories, I'm telling you, you're not eating enough. That is causing major problems. That's going to cause some of these side effects, including the repressed metabolic syndrome, the RMS, which will cause you to gain fat really easy and make it almost impossible to burn fat. You've got to eat, but you can't just eat anything. You've got to eat the right food at the right time in the right combination, and you have to step up appropriately. If you're eating 1,000 calories a day and you go, oh, Stu said to eat 1,800, and you go from 1,000 to 1,800, that's not going to work. Your body can't adjust that quickly. You have to go with your body and slowly adjust it over time. I mean, that's one of the things that I do with my clients all the time. I've had clients start with me, they were eating 1,200 calories, tracking every little thing. Now they're eating 2,000, almost double, and they're still losing weight, and they're like, how did I survive on 1,200? This is insane. And they learned your body actually needs fuel to be able to work and burn fat, so you have to eat. All right, let's look at the fourth fix, the last fix. Your exercise has to balance with your food, all right? And this is another issue. Someone will do a diet and then it doesn't match up with their exercise. Or someone will do an exercise program and it doesn't match up with your diet or your food. If you exercise too much and you're not eating enough, that will stop you from losing weight. If you don't exercise enough and you're eating too much, that'll also stop the weight. Everything has to be in balance to lose weight. And so what happens is, and this is true for my clients, none of my clients do more than 30 minutes a day, and it's no high intense anything. Well, we get them matched up with the food, and then they'll start burning fat so quick. Well, a lot of my clients want to exercise more, and they'll say, Stu, can I exercise more? I want to do an hour. I want to go do all this stuff. And I say, of course you can, but that means you'll have to eat more because we have them in balance. Well, some of them look at me and they go, what, are you crazy? I can't eat anymore. I can barely eat enough. What you're telling me to eat, I'm stuffed. And so they'll stay at the 30 minutes. Some of them do go up and like, oh my gosh, they're even eating even more. And they can't even believe how much they're eating, and their weight just going down and down and down and down. And that's where you want to be. You want to be eating a lot because that means you're giving the body vitamins and minerals and nutrients that it's going to use to keep your thyroid high, to keep your metabolism high, to feed your brain, to feed your muscles, your connective tissue, your organs. So your body has all those nutrients so that it can age better. And you have better hair, skin, and nails. You feel better, lots of energy, and you're still able to burn off body fat. And this is key because As you get older, if you do it like this, you'll be able to keep that body fat off. You won't slow down your body. Your joints will stay healthy. Your connective tissue will stay healthy. You'll stay strong and functional and vibrant. So anytime you can eat more and then be losing weight, that's how you want to do it. It's fun when you do it right. There's so many benefits, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So these are the 4 fixes. Now, I'm going to splash up 2 videos. You're going to want to check these out. These will go in depth in some of these concepts we're talking about, so you can really start understanding some of these tools and intricacies as you're hitting menopause. And trust me, your female body is very complex, so you need to be able to work with it. Anyway, I'll see you over on those videos. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.